Yes, children, now we are going to discuss about a very important topic, that is moving coil galvanometer. Okay, so what is a galvanometer? All of you know. It's an instrument to detect current in the circuit. Okay, so in galvanometer, the main two parts are, one is a magnet and other is a coil. So in some galvanometer, the magnet is at rest and the coil is moving. So that will be called moving coil galvanometer. In the other galvanometer, the magnet will be rotating and the coil is stationary. That is moving magnet galvanometer. So we have to discuss about, in your syllabus, it is moving coil galvanometer. And moving coil galvanometer itself, two types are there. The main part, coil, in one case it will be suspended, remain suspended, which is known as suspended type moving coil galvanometer. In the other one, which is known as Western galvanometer or pivoted type galvanometer, about which we have to study in detail, which we are using in laboratories and all that. That is the Western galvanometer, pivoted type galvanometer. The principle of this galvanometer, moving coil galvanometer, already we have studied in the previous topic. We know that a current carrying coil kept in a magnetic field experience a torque. It will tend to rotate the coil and produce a deflection. That is the principle of galvanometer. Now coming to the construction part. In the construction part, it consists of a rectangular coil of insulated copper wire. Insulated copper wire, and this copper wire is wound on a non-magnetic metallic frame. Okay, so this is the main part, the coil. The motion of this coil is controlled by a pair of hair springs, and the springs are made up of phosphor bronze. See that? This controlled by the two ends, a pair of two springs, and the springs are made up of the material called phosphor bronze. So why the phosphor bronze materials are used during the interaction time, we will discuss in detail. As means we know that it is a good conductor of electricity and it cannot oxidize very fast, and it is perfectly elastic material. So many qualities are there which we will be discussing in detail during the interaction time. Okay. So the two ends of the springs are soldered to the two ends of the coil. One end of the spring. See, the two springs are there. One end is connected to the two ends of the coil, and the other end, the outer ends, are connected to the two screws. See that? The outer ends will be connected to the two screws, and with the help of these two screws, we will be connecting the galvanometer as such to the external circuit. Okay, and these springs provide the restoring torque. Okay, and we will discuss in detail under the theory part. A light aluminium pointer attached to the coil. Aluminium pointer attached to the coil, it measures the deflection on the suitable scale. So now we are discussing about the construction part only. Theory we will discuss. Then the coil is kept between the cylindrical concave shaped pole pieces. See that? The shape. The concave shape pole pieces. Then a cylindrical soft iron core is mounted symmetrically between these concave pole pieces. And why we know that the cylindrical soft iron, it's a ferromagnetic material. And here, see this view is the front view of the moving coil galvanometer, and this one is the top view. If you view the galvanometer from the upper side, this view you can see. So these are the concave shaped pole pieces, and this is the top view of that soft iron, the upper part of the coil. Okay, see that magnetic field lines, the particular shape you see? Because here the soft iron piece, it will make all the magnetic lines of force to pass through that. Because of the high permeability, it will make the lines of force to pass through that. And especially due to this concave shape also, see that magnetic lines of force? How? The shape. Such a field is known as radial magnetic field. Okay. So it makes the lines of force pointing along the radii of the circle, and such a field is called a radial field. In this radial field, what is the peculiarity of the radial field? The plane of the coil rotating in such a field it will remain parallel to the field in all positions. So when the coil rotate throughout all the position, in all the position, the plane of the coil will be parallel to the magnetic lines of force, because see that in all the direction magnetic field lines are there. Okay, and the plane of the coil rotating in such a field will remain parallel. And the soft iron cylinder, we know that due to the high permeability, it will intensify the magnetic field, and therefore it will increase the sensitivity of the galvanometer. Okay. So, and what is the peculiarity of the radial magnetic field related to the torque, that we will discuss under theory and working part. Coming to the theory and working part of the galvanometer, we have already seen that the main part is a current carrying coil. I is the current, A is the area of the coil, N is the total number of turns of the coil. This coil is kept in a radial magnetic field. Okay. So we have seen that in detail in the previous topic. We have studied the expression for torque experienced by the current carrying coil. So that I am not explaining again. In the previous topic only we have discussed. So there we got the expression for the deflecting torque. Torque is equal to BIAN sin theta. Here theta is 90 degree because we know that normal to the plane of the coil remains perpendicular to the magnetic field in all positions. So the torque is equal to, maximum torque is equal to BIAN. Okay. Now this torque deflects the coil through, let the angle be phi. So when the coil is getting rotated or getting deflected, so we have seen that, remember that construction part, the two hair springs are there. So a restoring torque is set up in the coil due to the elasticity of the spring. Okay. So how? Such that restoring torque produced is directly proportional to phi. Okay. The angle of deflection. So restoring torque is equal to K phi. What is this phi, children? The angle through which the coil was getting rotated, that is that angle phi. So accordingly, that restoring torque produced due to the elasticity of the spring is equal to K phi. Okay, and this K is a constant which is known as the torsion constant of the spring. That means it is the torque required to produce unit deflection, unit angular twist. Now, so here two torques are there. One is the torque with which the coil is getting deflected. So in turn, one, due to the elasticity of the spring, it get restore the original position. So two torques are there. In the equilibrium position, we can see that this restoring torque will be equal to deflecting torque. So K phi is equal to BIAN, or we can write phi is equal to BAN by K into I. So here B constant, A constant, N constant, torsion constant, that is also a constant. So we can write phi directly proportional to I. Okay, see that here the deflection produced in the coil is directly proportional to current. So accordingly, see that, remember one aluminum pointer we have discussed in the construction part, that was moving over a graduated scale on a linear scale. Okay. So this is the basic principle. The deflection produced in the galvanometer is directly proportional to current. Phi directly proportional to I. Okay. Or in turn we can write I is equal to K by BAN into phi. This K by BAN, again it is a constant. So that constant we have written it as capital G, galvanometer constant. So I is equal to G phi, or what is the value of G, galvanometer constant? K divided by BAN. Okay. So, or in turn G we can also write in the term of current, G is equal to I by phi. Okay. So, galvanometer constant, or it is also called the figure of merit of the galvanometer. So, from this expression you can define the figure of merit of the galvanometer also. G is equal to I by phi. So, it is the current which produce unit deflection in the galvanometer. When phi is equal to 1, G is equal to I. That is why we have defined the current producing unit deflection in the galvanometer. Now coming to sensitivity of the galvanometer. When we can say that a galvanometer is more sensitive? it is sensitive if it shows large deflection even for a small current. Okay. So two terms we have to introduce here. That is, first is current sensitivity. IS, it is represented by the letter IS. Current sensitivity, IS is equal to phi divided by I. Okay. So phi, already we in the from the before previous expression we know that phi by I we can write it as BAN divided by K. We have written I by phi, K by BAN. So phi by I is BAN by K. So current sensitivity is the deflection produced in the galvanometer when unit current flows through it. Okay. That is the current sensitivity. Next, coming to the voltage sensitivity. So voltage sensitivity is denoted by Vs. We can write it as phi divided by V. That is deflection produced in the galvanometer when a unit potential difference is applied across the ends of the galvanometer coil. So phi by I, V we can write it as phi by IR, but phi by I is already BAN by K. So BAN by K divided by R. Okay, so we can compare Vs and Is. We can see that Vs is equal to Is divided by R. Okay, so from this expression we know that the sensitivity of the moving coil galvanometer, it depends on N, B, area and the value of K. So we can increase the sensitivity of the galvanometer by increasing the number of turns of the coil, by increasing the strength of the magnetic field, by increasing the area of the coil, and by decreasing the value of the torsion constant. What is torsion constant? We have already discussed. So this actually in the construction part I mentioned about the phosphor bronze wire. One more reason for using phosphor bronze, the material of the spring, because we have already seen that it's a good conductor, it does not oxidize, it's perfectly elastic and all that. We have seen that. One more factor for using this phosphor bronze is that it is the material with less value of the torsion constant. Okay, so in all these ways you can increase the sensitivity of the galvanometer.